Okay, so we're just giving people a little time to come in. Make sure that you are smashing that notification bell. You can also share this live if you like, or tag a few people that you think this would be good for. And don't be shy, because this is a place to discuss things. You don't have to be a veteran to really have input, because I learn from people every day in the lives and in life. So this is not a place where if you're not seasoned, you can't speak up. This is a place to kind of get the discussion going, to kind of get the mind brewing, so we can all make money in the beauty industry, okay? And you can invite people or share with people who may not necessarily be nail techs, because this is anyone in the beauty industry or for an entrepreneur overall. So just sit back and we'll come on soon. Thanks for your support. This track is so funny to me. I just had to throw it in because the emotions be running high, honey. But I'm coming soon. Just hold on. Just giving people time to come on in. Get what you need to get. We're starting soon. Now available at www.shecagobeautysource.com. Again, that's www.shecagobeautysource.com. Can you all hear me okay? I hope so. I hope so. This is kind of a new setup today. Let's see. Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? I think I want to turn down some of this light. It's a lot of light. Let's see. It's a lot of yellow light. Is that too dark? I don't think so. I think it's relaxing. This is relaxing light. And then I have right here, I'm sitting up here practicing some stuff. Yeah, this is my hair. I'm sitting up here practicing some stuff over here at the table. I am in my dining room. And I just wanted to do something different today. So how is everyone doing? How is everyone doing today? As promised, I said I will be coming back here with this information. Again, this is a new setting for me. And hold on, if you know anything about color theory, maybe that'll help a little bit. Did you know that yellow light fights blue light? And so I have a blue ring light, but then the overhead lighting, my Edison bulbs and stuff, those are yellow lights. And so it just creates a weird glare because it's too many lighting types fighting each other. So just giving people a moment to come in. You see my little fire pit? I love that I have a few of them. And that's going to be where I'm going to have those at the table at my dinner parties. You know, I'm trying to be on the grown and sexy these days. And so I said, I haven't started up my fire pit in this new place. So I said, let me light it up for this live. Okay. So how is everyone doing? We got Artina here. Hey, how you doing? Artina beat Lauren, which is, that's unusual. And then go Lauren with the eyes. Yeah. Hey, and then we got Tara Toodles. Hey, how are you? Hey. So you love the background. Thank you. I got to put this picture up on the walls. You know, I'm still moving and everything. But yeah, I just got in my dining room furniture. So I said, let me use this space. I love having a table and I can watch TV. I can work. I can, you know, have my dinner parties. I'm very happy. Thank you so much. I look amazing. Thank you. Wow. Let me tell you though, it's so crazy because I finally put a relax in my hair because I noticed if I don't relax my hair, I left the natural thing alone like a year and a half ago. It's just too much for me. Plus I never wore my hair out anyway. I wear a lot of wigs, but now that I'm relaxed, I know that if I don't relax my hair after like when it's really time and my roots are thick, if I don't relax my hair will start to break off. And that's where my hair was. My hair was to the point where it was breaking off. I could just tell. So I had to relax my hair. The problem is I've been working out. So like last week I was in the gym lifting weights every single day. And I'm talking hardcore lifting. I probably spent about 12 hours in the gym last week and that's a lot. So my body I just been sleeping. I've been super drained and tired, muscles rebuilding, all that good stuff. And so you see my hair, this is probably one of the only times you will see my hair because I'm going to have to braid it up. The way that I work out in the gym and the way that I sweat and I'm always in the sauna, there is no way in the world I could wear my own hair for long periods of time. It just doesn't work. So yeah. And these are my favorite glasses that I ordered from Zilul, I want to say, but they are prescription. They are. Thank you. Hi, y'all. Oh, hey, it's been a while. Hey, a very long time since I've been here. I hope you're well and business is good for you. Now, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. And I was thinking like maybe we should go live a little bit later. And I hope I was well with you, but maybe we should go live again later to discuss the nail business and what I've been noticing. And just give you an update. I don't know if you all are following me on TikTok, but you should be following me on TikTok because that is where everything is right now. All whatever it's Instagram, but it's really TikTok. Okay. So I hope that you're following me, and that is official.shecago on TikTok. And I've been challenging everybody else to post more on TikTok and learn more about TikTok because TikTok is a gateway that now leads you to Instagram. So now any information that you're posting, you should be first putting it through TikTok and it attaches itself to Instagram so you can kill two birds with one stone. Okay. So yeah. Okay. But thank you. You said you're in the bed, sicky, doing some online studies and editing photos to post. Yes. And I was just talking to my friend and I'm like, people don't realize how much work social media is. Social media is straight up like a job. It is a part-time job that you have, unless you can afford to hire someone to do it for you full-time. It is really a job. It's something that you have to be on top of every day. You have to pay attention to what's going on. You know, you have to be on top of it because if you're not, you'll have a flow going and then you won't have a flow. Just that fast. I could tell you, like even with my YouTube channel, like I said in my last live, how I had some people and I noticed that I had been gone because I had moved and relocated. And then when I came back on, I lost followers. But I expected that because I know how the algorithm works. And so people had lost interest. You have to constantly keep people engaged. But because I was more consistent with my posting like I was before, I'm still not all the way up there where I used to be in my peak, but I got those people right back within a week, plus a few more. But it's like with social media, it's a beast that runs 24 hours a day. It can work to your favor, or it could just be a waste of your time. It can work to your favor, or it could be a waste of time. It just depends. It's up to us. That's why we're brazen twist so much. Gym flow. Exactly. And when I'm in the gym, I don't have time to be so cute. I'm trying to get it in, because the hardest part about going to the gym is getting up and going to the gym. Once I'm in the gym, I'm on it and I don't care. But really, if I get my butt up to drive all the way to the gym and put all my stuff in lock, if I do all that, I got to make sure that I came for a reason. So I do not come to play. I have my earplugs in. I do not like talking to anybody. I'm just beasting out. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do upper body. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna do this. I go to see results. And then I don't know who works out like this, but I'm gonna tell you the most important part of it too is making sure that you have your protein. So that's the other part of it, coming home and make sure you're eating good and getting your protein in to build your muscles. So I've just been super tired because I got back in the gym hardcore last week, and lifting weights heavy like that day after day after day after day, it wiped me out. It really did. You said loving the ambiance. Why, thank you. I said, yeah, let me, it's so funny when you unpack, you start seeing stuff you haven't seen in a while. You're like, oh, I forget about this. Oh, I forget about that. Oh, yeah, I have 2 of those. Yeah, I like it. And if anybody wants to know, I got that from Wayfair. I got this from Wayfair, and it's so cute. They have a tall one too that's like double the size. I didn't get the tall one, but I love it. You just pour the fuel in there, and it's just, oh my God, especially if you're having like a little company, honey. You don't need a house. I had this in my apartment. I used to be in there. Shoot, I used to be in there watching TV. Let me tell you all about the self-love and the self-care. I would turn out all the lights, especially after a long day last year, and I was just stressed. I would give myself permission to relax, grab my drink. I got my food. I'll turn on all the lights in the house and light this baby up, because I only had 1 at first. I got 2 now. And it just made me feel so good, so comfortable. So I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And yes, Wayfair is everything, honey. And I'm gonna, I should apply for some credit with them. I know I'll get it. Yes. So, okay. The reason why we are here today, because, I have to do that. I don't know if you all know, I kind of stall to kind of give people time to come in. And I don't know if you know this, but all talk show hosts do that at the beginning of their show. They kind of do the little banter like Wendy Williams would do. And it just gives everybody time to kind of tune in before you get into the hot topics. And so here we go. Hot topics. So we all know that today we're going to do this. We did it last year. We're going to do it again this year. Tax talk for beauty pros. Tax talk for beauty pros. This is something that we need to know. We need to talk about. I actually just posted on TikTok last night about, it's a part 1. I haven't posted up part 2, just saying how much do nail techs make. And I've heard as low as $18,000 per year. But if you go on, I think it's Glassdoor, it says we make like 30-something thousand a year. And so I just did a TikTok about that. Now, the thing of it is, a lot of us, the truth is, a lot of us, people think we don't really make that much money because we don't report properly, right? And that's what's really happening. And so today we have this lady here, Dakara, which is my friend. She's the only person I allow to do anything financial for me. And let me see, I'm tapping into her now. See, she's going to come on camera, and she's going to answer any questions, and we're just going to talk about a few things real quick. And yeah, so I just reached out to her now. And so she is the person that you really want to know. Like a lot of people, I know you have people that may do your taxes, but you want to make sure that you have someone who really really does this. Like, this is what she does 7 days a week. You know, she's the person who is on it. This is her full-time career. She's owned several Liberty Tax Service locations, and she was also their like recovery person who, if there's a business that's failing, they would fly her out to help them get back on track. She knows this business inside and out. She's literally on the phone with the IRS every day. Every day. She's the one person who got me to not be afraid. Oh, there she is. She's the one person who got me to not be afraid of the IRS. Okay. And so I'm just going to go ahead. She's on it. I knew she was coming. I don't worry about her. Here she is. Hey.
Hey, lady. How are you?
Good. And you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I think so. If you ever have a problem with your live stream, just click out and just click back in. It just depends on how it is, how it's hooked up on your end. I don't know. But, you know, if that happens, oh, you're going to put your glasses on? Let me put mine on. You putting yours on? I'm putting mine on.
Yeah, you know, because I can't
Well,
see.
we almost got the same glasses on. Wait, put your glasses on.
Let me
We
clean
are
up.
so connected. Oh, my God. Put your glasses on, girl. The glass can.
Yours are way fancier than mine.
Girl, no. Isn't that funny, though? We pretty much have the same.
Yeah, with the design.
I think I should put a little music on, too. That's a new feature here that you can play music. So I'm gonna turn on a little music.
Okay. You got to show me how to use this little streaming software here.
I will. It's really easy. Okay, so we are doing this again. I don't know if you all remember her from before. She's in Atlanta, Georgia. And I don't know. I'm gonna let you speak because I just talk too much. Go.
Well, yeah, last year we just, gave some pointers on how to report income, how to report expenses on your tax returns. This is, I wouldn't say post-COVID, but post-crazy COVID, I could say, because a lot of us, anyone who's in a service-based business probably got hit pretty bad during COVID with either losing customers or finding an alternative way to kind of conduct your business, because we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
During that time.
Wait a minute though. I want them to know. I love to brag about you. There are very few people on this earth that I'll just keep going on and on and on about them. They're like, okay, we get it. I want you to tell them a little bit about who you are. Yes, please.
Okay, so my name is Dakara Huffman. I currently am in the tax and finance industry. A little background: I have a degree in IT and information technology and computer science. I did that for like 10 years. And the entrepreneur bug had always bitten me. I was just trying to figure out the right time to kind of dive into what I wanted to do. And it actually wasn't taxes. I wanted to own a spa. So I wanted to be in the beauty industry.
See? And that's crazy because, wait a minute, I got to tell them this part, because we are women who chose this route, because we both have worked for major corporations. Tell them your major corporation that you work for.
I worked for Kimberly-Clark for 10 years, actually, in the IT department. So if you use Kleenex, Cottonelle, if you have kids and you use Huggies, I work for the company who produced all of that.
Exactly. And I did Newell Rubbermaid, and Newell Rubbermaid, we know, does all the Tupperware. They have goodie products, the rubber bands and all that type of stuff. So just know that we chose to be entrepreneurs. We could have stayed in those cushy careers that a lot of you all are in, and kind of, a little leery to leave from or whatever, with the benefits and the 401k and the extravagant lunches and brunches and all the cocktails they want to give you so they can work you to death while your life is just, trickling away. And you're not happy. We made the steps. So it's not like we're just talking, out of our butts. We have gone through the trenches to get to this point. So just know that you're talking to real people who are speaking from the journey, from the journey ourselves. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. We've come from one complete different place way into another. So we've kind of been through those different phases, ups and downs, in all those areas. Yeah. So basically, after I left my job at Kimberly-Clark, I ran a spa for a couple of years because I wanted to work within that industry before I jumped out and trying to do my own thing, and really didn't love it as much as I thought I would.
Exactly. But you knew you had a strategy though. You had a plan.
Yes, I did. I probably put in the longest 2 weeks notice. I was at my job for a little over 5 months to transition all my work before I left. So they knew for 5 months that I was leaving, but it was so much. That's how much I had going on. I worked 7 days a week when I was there. Great company, but it was a lot of work. I was a young Black female trying to, make my footprints and make my entry. So I was working hard, of course, but I got kind of burned out and felt like it was my time financially, and kind of with my gusto and fearfulness to jump out there and try to do something on my own. So the taxing was wholly by mistake. I took a tax class to figure out how to do my taxes as a small business owner, because I'd always been an employee. I had always gotten a W-2. Never had to deal with a 1099 or trying to track expenses or what can you write off, what shouldn't you write off, all that stuff I knew nothing about. So long story short, I took this tax class. I wound up partnering with the instructor, who's a great friend of mine still to this day. We partner up. We open up 6 tax offices under the Liberty Tax franchise. We're in business for multiple years, and that's where my investment in the tax and financial industry started. So I was able to do what I wanted to do, as far as I knew I wanted to help people, and I knew I wanted to kind of problem solve. I thought I was going to be doing that by running a spa and having a relaxation
Right, we
temple
are.
and having a place for people to come, but it winded up being taxes and money.
See? And that's the thing. A lot of us try to control exactly how it's going to look. A lot of us don't step outside of corporate or our jobs because we need to know exactly how it's going to pan out, how it's going to play out. And sometimes you think it'll be one thing, but once you get into it, you'll notice that your
Totally different.
expertise or the people that are drawing to you and want to spend with you and have a business relationship with you are telling you this is what they want from you. So it's obviously something that they see. You'll see a pattern some type of way. And what they see, you don't see it, but that's what you should go with. Don't fight it,
Right.
So, okay, well, that was cool. That was cool, girl.
Oh, I forgot to mention that the way I met this lovely lady is she came to one of my tax classes and completely freaked out on me after class one day.
I failed.
I can't do this.
I failed the class. I got like a 68 or something. It wasn't over 72.
She's like, I don't learn like this. I don't know how to do this.
No. And so here we are today, but we still don't ask me to do your taxes. You probably go to jail. You'll be owing the government for the rest of your life. You might go to jail. You might get audited. Don't do it. Matter of fact, they're going to send it back like this is incomplete. That's what's going to happen. If I do your taxes, I know nothing. I'm not going to say that I've learned little things,
right,
over time, but I'm going to get into it because I have one thing that I want to say that I want you to clarify for some people. So here we go. Social media is so powerful, right?
Definitely.
And I see on Facebook, I see on Instagram, and I'm definitely seeing on TikTok. I saw one last night. And I just cringe when I see people do this. People are saying, I got my LLC. I got my LLC. And everybody, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And it's like, I don't know how this started where people feel like no matter what it is, if you want to open a business, the first thing you must do is go get this LLC. And when did LLC become the say all be all for a person to start a business? Can you just shine a little light on this for people, please?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something that has drawn so much attention because it's easy to do. Yeah. You can go and register multiple LLCs at one time if you want, but registering your business doesn't mean anything until you start operating it.
Mm.
Okay. So I've known many people who have registered businesses, not kept up with their annual registrations, and they have been dissolved. Somebody else has come in and taken the name. So the registration is just a formulation of doing things. I have plenty of clients that were making six figures before they even started an LLC, simply because they just started
Started.
doing.
Just started.
They just started doing and were very successful at it. They weren't thinking about, the legal woes. I think sometimes we hang on too much to getting so formal when we're starting out, when sometimes you just need to start and
Start.
then connect with professionals like myself and someone legal. So let me put this out there right now. I give you or give my clients or anyone interested in working with me advice on the tax side of things. I am not an attorney.
Mhm.
So you setting up your LLC on your own is perfectly fine. But depending on what your plans are, what your goals are, you most likely need to speak to a business attorney. You
Mhm.
need to make sure when you form that LLC that you have operation agreements in place. You have specification on what happens if you pass away or a partner passes away, or if the business just doesn't work out. Is it going to be dissolved after a certain period of time? It is a legal entity.
Mhm.
Okay,
But what about
remember
this
that.
part? What about this part? Because not every business structure should be an LLC. It's just
You're
what
correct.
everyone jumps out and gets. When I opened Nail Fetish, I opened it, I ran out on my own because I could do it easily. And I went
Right.
online and I formed a C Corp.
Okay.
I was a C Corp. And the tax guy that I had, we ended up having to fix that, right?
Yes, you
That
you
had to be
you have
fixed
to change
because
it. A C corp comes with a whole lot of other requirements. Well, LLC does too. Many people just don't adhere to them.
mm,
So what happens is you form this whole legal entity and you feel like I have a business. It's called limited liability company. The C is for company, not corporation. I hear that said wrong all the time. An LLC is not a corporation. It's a limited liability company. It is a combination of basically a sole proprietorship and a partnership, and you kind of get the benefits of both.
mm.
All right. So just realize that the basis of it is not a corporation. Never was set up to be, never intended to be. It was kind of the in between. The reason it was created because there was not an in between you being a sole proprietorship and a corporation. You had
Oh,
to
okay.
choose one or the other. So
Okay.
when it was created some years ago, it was kind of to give you a little bit of both worlds. And
Okay.
that's why it's so popular today, because it's easy to form. You can have multiple members. You can do it. You can be a single member LLC.
Mhm.
Um, if you are, for example, in real estate investing, you can set up LLCs to cover, property. So it's very easy to use, and the purpose of it is to protect your personal liability from your business. All
Okay.
right.
Well, that's something that I don't know. Like, if someone's not watching it now, rewind this part right here and just understand it, because I just feel like everyone is jumping on this trend of it, but not even
Right.
understanding why they're doing it or if it's the best choice for the type of business that they
Right.
run. And then also, but see, we're not lawyers, but I just think too, a lot of people feel like I have an LLC, so I can never be sued or anything if anything were to happen. And
Yeah.
I can't
There's
talk
a
to the right
reason.
people.
There's a reason the first L is limited. It
Limited,
doesn't say all inclusive.
right?
I'm not right. I can't be sued. It's limited because if you run everything through your LLC, meaning your monies, your bank account, when you purchase things, you purchase it in the business name. You're not just purchasing it, with your personal money and saying it's going to be used for business. You have to run as your business in order to be protected. So if you have an LLC, but you step outside of your LLC and still run your business on an individual basis, you most certainly can be sued. And depending on the circumstances, your client will have access to your personal assets. So you'll hear the term, the corporate veil. All right. What that means is you have to run as a business to be considered a business to limit your liability. I guess it's the easiest way I can explain it. There's a lot of ebbs and flows in it, but that's the basis of it. Setting up an LLC, but still running business finances through your personal account or through a personal Cash App account or through a personal Venmo account is not running your business as an LLC.
Really? So for people like us, for like me, how should people pay? Like, how do you do that?
So you can get all these particular things that I just mentioned. I mentioned them on purpose because the rule just changed, of course, this year with how monies are going to be reported.
Yeah.
There's a reason that PayPal and Cash App and Square and all of these people have business accounts and personal accounts. All right. There are different requirements for it. All right. So the reason and the rule I'm mentioning is the 1099K rule that went into effect as of January 1st this year. So now transactions of $600 or more with these third-party processors are now going to be reported to you on a 1099K, and you're going to need to report that income on your tax return. So most of my clients don't have an issue with this because I've taught them how to run everything. They already report the income. So this is just going to be an extra reporting form. So the stuff I see on social media about how you need to try to hide your money and say it's a gift or from a family or friend, it's just going to get you into more trouble. The reason they're doing it is to catch people that are not reporting the income.
Exactly. And it's going to be anything over $600, right?
$600 or more. Yeah.
But 600 has always been the threshold anyway for anyone to issue you like a 1099, right?
Yes, but the 1099K was for third-party transactions, for example, credit card transactions, and the threshold before they changed it was $20,000 and at least 200 transactions. So it was a much, much larger threshold than it is now.
Okay. Because I know, I work for agencies. I haven't since COVID, but when I was working for agencies, I always expected, I would almost forget, but I always had to make sure I had all those 1099s from the agencies because I definitely would make over $600 with them. But now we're going to have to look out for all these transactions and things that we're doing with these clients because everyone's paying digital. So now that we have to wait on that too. So we're not going to be able to skate under the radar as much, right?
Well, and you shouldn't be. I don't understand the fascination with skating. You can skate with it being reported. You just have to be smart about how you handle and report your money. Okay. If you make $100,000, that doesn't mean you're going to get taxed on $100,000.
Exactly. I'm glad
that's why you hire a tax professional to make sure that you're not only deducting your proper expenses, but you're putting that money that you make in a retirement account or in an investment where you're not being taxed. There are different strategies that you can come up with, but your strategy should not be to try to hide your money.
Exactly. Hold that thought.
Be one of them.
Hold that thought because that goes right into this next question. Lauren asked, how exactly does how does a write-off work?
Okay, so I'm speaking in business terms because you can have individual write-offs, but I'm speaking specifically in the business realm right now.
She's a nail tech.
Okay, so as a nail tech, you run a business as a nail tech. So any items or supplies that you purchase, any services that help you render your services to your clients, any training that you do, because I'm sure you have to keep up with your training every year for licensing and thus far. All of that is necessary and ordinary for you to run your business. And I say those two words because that's how the IRS defines it. So all of those things I just mentioned are expenses to you, meaning they are a tax deduction, meaning they are a write-off. So whatever your total revenue is that you bring in, let's say you charge $80 for a nail service, but for that $80, you use an online booking system. You use a PayPal to process the payment. All right.
Those fees are deductible, right?
Those fees are deductible. You had to buy the supplies to service the client. Those are all deductions from that $80. So although you made $80, you didn't net $80, and you're taxed on your net income, not your gross.
Plus, you have internet, high-speed internet for your clients too. You have all these different amenities. I even talked about in a long time ago, a live where, oh my God, what am I saying? I buy candy. And it seems like it's nothing, but when you really calculate it, I was spending over $700 a year, I want to say, on just the little candy
On the
that
little
I put in
stuff.
the dish. And
Yeah.
so we have to dig down deep that far because we're spending way more money than we realize in things that are tax deductible.
That's why it's very important to have your business accounts, whether that be bank accounts, whether that be PayPal, Square, Cash App, whatever, however your money is flowing through. When you spend money on your expenses, you need to do it through those accounts, because then when you come to me to get your taxes done, all I need is your reports from those third-party payment processors and your bank account, because everything should flow through that. So we got to get into the mindset of running everything through the business as a business. Cash is fine, but when you spend it out in cash, then you're going to have to be responsible for keeping those receipts and tallying up what you spent out of pocket for cash. Record keeping is the kryptonite for most business owners.
So
Okay.
what now?
Record keeping good records is the kryptonite.
It's my kryptonite. I'm like, it's around.
I think I paid, or I think I remember, or I'm not sure. I think I drove this many miles. But if you track it, you don't have to guess.
Well, okay. I'm this is all good information. So she said, I didn't file my taxes for 2020. I'm not sure what to do since I was working in a salon that wasn't ran by the book.
Okay, so the other thing about this is, especially with nail techs and a lot of beauty professionals, you may work in a salon where you may just pay booth rent, but you basically do your own thing. You book your own clients, you pay for your own supplies in your area and everything. You yourself are responsible for keeping up with your stuff. Even if somebody else is paying you, you still want to keep up with it. Because what if it's wrong? What if somebody issues you a 1099 for $50,000 and you're like, I didn't make over 10?
Because they're using you to launder some of their money so they can get more write-offs.
And that's it always goes back to record keeping. You need to keep a record and it can be something simple. There are plenty of apps that can do this, but we can go old school with the black and white composition notebook. Write the date down, write whatever you're paying for and the amount and how you paid for it. That's a record.
Can I tell you something else that has been my little cheat? Dakar, don't get me now. But this is my little cheat code. I've said it numerous times. Anytime I have over $30, I run it to the bank, because the bank, everything I make is, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So I make sure I put all of my cash in the bank. So I know how much I average per month, and I can kind of use my bank statements in a sense too, to kind of see, what I average per month, what my largest months are. I can kind of go in and highlight, all of the expenses and everything. So your bank statement, if you just know in your heart of hearts that you're not that person who's going to do that, at least make sure that you are putting all of your money into that account, into that one account, every dollar. Like a lot of us we'll have a day where we're heavy on cash because everybody paid cash, and you end up trickling off that money. You go get something to eat, you go to, you should put it all in there so you will truly know how much you're making. That's just what I do. I won't spend cash until it has to run through my bank account first. It has to. That's just me.
And that is a great way of doing so. But even if you don't run it through a bank account, you need some kind of system. The problem is people don't have a system and they're not disciplined in keeping records. So there's no way. I don't remember what I did yesterday, let alone last week, or the number of clients I had, or the number of payments I received. But I have a customer management system, I have a Square system, and I have a bank account. I can go pull that information up right now, ASAP. Okay.
Yep.
So you need a system where it's not just for taxes either. Don't look at this as, oh, I need to do this for taxes. You need to do this to make sure you're making a profit in your business. If you're thinking you're bringing in 5,000 but you're spending 6, you're negative $1,000. You're not making a profit. So
A lot of people are running and they're not making the money they think.
No, so you need to shift. Money that you bring in is not what you're profiting. It's just what you're making.
Bring it in.
You have got to take out the expenses and realize what your actual profit is. It helps you as a business owner grow, but it helps you make sure that you are maximizing your profit.
Now, I got to do something really, really quick because my friend Cece, who was a nail tech, is on her way here, and I got to unlock the front gate. I forgot I'm locked in here.
Oh, you're fine. Cece is who I think came to me. I helped her with stuff. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so Cece actually goes to the car now. She, she handles her stuff for her. So Cece's like, I'm on my way. So I forgot the front gate is locked. But I'm going to let you answer this question here, and I'm just going to step away for 1 second, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'm married, but I have my own business doing nails as a sole proprietor. Would I file separate from my husband?
Okay, Lexi, do you and your husband have any dependents? I don't know if I can see your answer or not. So I'm going to give it to you 2 ways. The best way to file is married filing jointly, probably 98% of the time. The worst way to file is married filing separately. And I'm going to tell you why. When you file separately from your spouse, you're taxed at the same level as a single taxpayer, and you lose the ability to claim certain credits. All right, so you're basically paying more in taxes as a married individual filing separate. So what you want to do is you want to pull everything together from your spouse's job. What you do is your nail tech, pull the numbers together and determine what your bottom line on your taxes is going to be with filing together. It's very rare that I have to advise clients to file separately because the tax consequences are just so much higher than if you file together. And it gets even worse. So if you do have dependents, right offhand, I can say you need to be filing jointly, because separately you lose the ability to claim a lot of credits for dependents. So everything is in the numbers. You always want to make sure you're working with someone, or even if you're doing it on your own, if you're using a particular tax software, you want to put all your numbers in and let those calculations tell you what your bottom line is going to be. But most often it is better to file married because you're taxed at the lowest tax rate. You're given the higher standard deduction, and you're given the higher amount of any credits that you qualify for. So the IRS loves for you to be married. They love for you to file jointly, but they basically punish you for filing separately. All right. But again, everything is in the numbers. So usually when you file separately, it's situations like it's a lot of income coming in from both individuals. Let's say both of you made $200,000 a piece. Together, you're at $400,000. So you may, in that situation, have a lower tax liability filing separately on just the $200,000 each versus combining at $400,000 together. All right, so I would just need to know the numbers we're looking at it if you have dependents. Those are usually the 2 things that help me advise a client on which way they should be, or what filing status they should be choosing.
She's saying it's her hair. Okay, it's too late.
Hey, Cp.
Hey,
how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I timed that just right because I opened the front door. She was parking. I'm like, oh, she ain't fast. Yeah.
So I just went over the whole married filing jointly versus separately question that Lexi had. I was telling her basically that merit filing jointly is the better way to file. It gives you the lower tax rate, higher credits, higher deductions. So there's very few situations where you would want to file separately, and that's usually when you're dealing with a higher income situation where you're literally splitting the income in half. But typically now with some of the tax changes, if you can file merit, especially if you have dependents, it's going to be more to your benefit than filing separately.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know you handle that for her. Now, Laura was saying it's a commission salon, but they had us on a 1099. But that's how that would go, right? Because you're an independent contractor on commission.
So commission would be considered 1099 income. So you would just take whatever your commissions were based on whatever services or products you sold. And again, you want to subtract out any expenses you incurred with that. The other thing I want to mention for my beauty professionals is, which I mentioned to all clients now, especially since COVID took over the world, set up a home office. Okay. And the reason is not because it's not because you can write off everything in your house. That's what people think. That's not the point. The point is that your home office is a business base. So any mileage that you do away from your home is deductible. Okay. And typically if you're a nail tech, if you're not running your business from home, you're usually going out somewhere, to a salon, maybe to multiple salons to work. Those miles can add up and give you a nice deduction. And then depending on if you had to buy a new vehicle, we can determine if you need to take your actual expenses on what you paid for that vehicle, your gas, your maintenance, and depreciation versus mileage. So a lot of times people miss that deduction because technically business miles are from one business location to another business location. And if you're just leaving home and going to one salon, it's not going to be deductible. But if you have a home office, it is.
You heard it here, people. People, you heard it here. Now, I don't want to hold up. Sometimes when it comes to this type of stuff, us as creatives, we kind of blank out a little bit, right? But I want to talk about something because of COVID. A lot of help was given out by the government. A lot of help. People receive unemployment. People receive PPP, the PPP, the PPP. The EIDL, the PPP, the unemployment, the child tax care credit.
Right.
The food stamps, the free extra food stamps. All that. Come get it all. Everybody came into all kind of money during COVID. So what do we do in terms of our taxes? Like a lot of people, now, from my understanding, all this money they were given with that child tax care credit, a lot of people don't understand that was really a loan.
Really? Right. That was it's called an advance for a reason. It was an advance of the credit that you would typically claim on your tax return. So that's why the IRS is going crazy about making sure you report what you already received. Because if you don't, you're just going to hold up the processing of your tax return. So if you received, that $250 plus per month for your eligible dependents, you need to report that on your tax return. You still get the difference. There's still some credit left over. So it's not like, all of it's gone. But don't try to be greedy and think they don't know. They know the money that they sent out to you, and it's going to be recalculated. But speaking of, it's been a lot of confusions about the PPP. So here's the IRS's decision on this. And it can be, depending on the state you live in, separate. So the PPP loan funds are not taxable income. Okay.
I didn't know. Okay.
It's not taxable income. So you don't have to report it on your tax return as taxable income. However, being a tax professional, I advise people to still report it as non-taxable income. Just as a record keeping to let the IRS know, yes, I am a valid business owner and I validly got this PPP loan, and I know it's non-taxable, but I'm reporting it here for record purposes. Okay. The other side of that is the beginning of last year, the Congress passed that not only was it not taxable, but that you still could deduct expenses that you paid using those PPP loan funds.
What?
So you still have the ability to take all your business write-offs, all of your deductions, even though you don't have to report it as income. So this is the first time the IRS and government has allowed you to basically double dip. Because usually they won't let you write one thing off unless you're reporting it as income. Exactly. All right. But because we were in pandemic circumstances, they're allowing you to do so. Now, that is if you are on a Schedule C. If you're a sole proprietor on a Schedule C, that's how you would report that. There are different reporting requirements if you're a corporation, because now we're talking about balance sheets and some other requirements. So it's a little bit different. So if you're not sure, especially if you're being taxed as an S Corp or you are a full C corporation, you need to speak to someone and make sure, because a loan for your business is actually considered an asset. All right. It's an influx of cash, and cash is considered an asset, even though it's a loan. So you can't look at it as just, borrowed funds, because it's looked at different in the accounting world.
So did you all hear that? Even though it's not taxable income, we should show it, and then also we can claim deductions on that. And so this is one of the reasons why our income report's so low, because we're so afraid of owing. But if you have the right person who knows how all of this flows together, you will have a person who knows how to work things in your interest, because you can try to hide those funds that you receive, but they can, not well, even about them. I think it's more so like the deductions you can claim against that can help lower your tax liability.
Right.
In cases like me, I owe taxes. I never get a refund. I pay the IRS every month on the 15th. So stuff like this year, that actually can work in my favor to XYZZZZ, and that helps to lower the liability on the taxable income.
Right. Well, it actually makes it make sense too, because let's just say everybody got hit with COVID. So let's just say you really only made, $20,000 for the whole year. You usually make 3 times that. Okay. Just based on, circumstances and how business flowed. But you also got a $20,000 PPP loan, but you had to write off expenses that were $30,000, because you had to keep everything afloat and keep everything going that you had to pay out of pocket.
Right.
Your tax return then makes sense that you made under what you usually made. You had an influx of loan proceeds from PPP, and now you're deducting these eligible expenses. Your tax return is all about making sense. Okay. People put the craziest stuff on their tax returns, and they get reviewed and they get audited. The IRS is going by good faith that you are telling the truth when you send that stuff in. And if it doesn't make sense, that's the only time they start asking questions.
So people, stay away from those darn signs, those lawn signs you see out there on the grass when you pull up to the light saying you got 2 kids. It'll be like 2 kids, 6,500, 3 kids, 10,000. 4+ kids, 12,000. Stay away from those people, because they are just throwing anything on your form. Those are not real tax.
And it's not based on the number of kids you have. It's based on your income. They never mention how much income you have to make. They just throw out there that if you have dependents. But you can make so much money that you don't even qualify for certain credits. So, it's very misleading. But I do want people, if you are in that situation where you reap the benefits of a big tax refund this year, please do something with it, because I think a lot of people blew through their PPP money who,
PPP. They in Vegas, they on beaches. They
be smart about it. I get the big question, of course, every year. But especially this year, we're like, well, is there going to be a new stimulus? Is there going to be a new this? The government is trying to cut this stuff off now. They consider the economy to be moving forward. So unless we, had moved backward, I think Omicron tried to take us out for a minute. But unless we started moving back to really having to do major shutdowns, they're not going to influx money right now. They're still working on trying to recover the billions of dollars that was given out fraudulently. under the
People
PPP.
think that's done. That's not done.
They actually have a task force that they formed where people
I tell people that all the time.
Yeah.
They got a whole special team that's going after that and researching that, and it's gonna. The IRS will come back after you. Come to you 3-4 years after something, and
that's
boom.
usually their timeline. 3 to 4 years, they'll go back before they even realize anything.
So
happened in the prior year.
Well, here's another question: do you pay taxes every month with your business based on your income or how you are registered with the IRS?
So you don't have to. You're required to pay taxes on a quarterly basis. So basically every quarter, well, basically it's not set up in true quarters because the last quarter ended January 18th for 2021. Okay, I know that sounds backwards, but if you had to pay estimated tax payments to make up for anything that you may have owed when you file your taxes, it should have been done on January 18th. So therefore,
go ahead.
Go ahead. There are 4 different dates in the year where quarterly taxes are calculated. And based on those 3 months of income that you make, you want to take your gross income, you want to subtract out all of your expenses, and you want to determine what that net income is. And based on that, that is what you pay quarterly taxes on. All right.
Now I got a confession. I
do have a lot of clients that I do have to put on a monthly basis because they're not disciplined enough to do it on a quarterly.
I'm just gonna be real here. And people who follow my channel, they know how I am. I don't, in my man, I want to be God. I want to be, but I pay the IRS every month. She knows I'm on a payment plan, and I think I'm always going to be on a payment plan with the IRS because I don't pay in any taxes, so I'm always owing them. But the thing of it is, for me, I'm at peace with it because the IRS doesn't bother you as long as you keep in contact with them, and they will work with you, and you do what you say you're. She froze on me. Is that not right?
No, that's right. I didn't know I froze on you. No, you're correct, but we still need to get you out of being on a payment plan because you're being penalized. You're paying penalties and interest.
I am
for paying that money
so long.
So yeah, that's kind of your punishment for not, paying your estimated taxes. And the reason you pay the estimated taxes is so you just don't have a bill when you file your tax return. Because what can happen, what they usually don't do, is they can penalize you for not paying estimated taxes. They usually don't assess it unless you haven't filed in a lot of years, but they can penalize you on top of the money that you already owe just based on you not even submitting quarterly taxes.
Yeah, it's
and the things we don't want to talk about. Even if you don't calculate it quarterly, what you can do is you can use your prior year. If you think that you're going to make the same or maybe a little bit more income for the year, take that whole year and divide it by 4. That's going to be your typical income for each quarter. Subtract out any typical expenses to get your net income. So it's not hard to do. You don't have to be perfect because your income can fluctuate. But the fact of the matter is you submitting quarterly taxes, let them know that you're attempting to stay in line with what the requirements are.
And Dakara has a simple worksheet that's coming out really soon, I'm pretty sure. And it's just like a 1-pager, and it'll be something that you could just even keep up on the wall in your room, by your bed or whatever, just for you to write that, just to jot it down. So yeah.
I'm going to start doing, I have to do much, much better with my social media. That's why I'm on here with Tisha today. But I want to be more present with people because tomorrow is the last day of the month. Okay. It's usually the busiest day for me as a tax professional because I'm doing a lot of things. It's not only the last day of the month of January when business clients need to close out books and figure out, what payroll is. It's also the day that 1099s and W-2s are due to anyone that you paid last year. All right. So this weekend, I had an influx of people who waited to the last minute to have to generate, all their income income statement forms to their employees or contractors because they're due tomorrow. They're supposed to get to them tomorrow.
I used to I remember sitting down and typing out. Well, I used to write. You could write them out too. You just hand them to people. It's a carbon copy.
The point is, if you're waiting to the last minute, I guarantee you're going to miss something, or you're not going to have somebody's information. So it's too much of a stressor to have to try to rush and do things like that. When most of my clients, I did their annual payroll at the beginning of January because we already knew what everybody had made, who needed to be issued what. So it was done. The reason they give you, the IRS gives everyone to the 31st to have everything with you, to get everything to you, is so that businesses have time to process. But if you're keeping good records and you know who you paid and when you paid them, write that stuff out and send them so they'll have it for their tax reporting purposes. Walmart can do it. Anybody can do it. Walmart probably is one of the earliest companies that gets out their W-2s the first week or so of January, and they have for years. So I'm not sure why everybody else can't seem to.
It's just stuff we don't want to deal with. That's the truth. Okay, well, here's a question. How can you go about finding a great accountant or CPA? What are some red flags?
Okay, so one thing you want to do is, you don't necessarily have to have an accountant or CPA. I'm neither. I'm a tax professional. My thing is taxes, and I do know accounting rules and studying to become an enrolled agent with the IRS to represent clients. So the things you want to make sure, because accountants and CPAs specialize in different things. I work with accountants who only do basically bookkeeping for some of my clients. They don't even touch taxes. All right. So if you're looking for someone with a designation, make sure they specialize in doing individual and business taxes. Some accountants are basically record keepers. They do financial statements. They do bookkeeping. They will, review books if you're behind from reconciling from year to year. So you just want to make sure that the professional you're seeking out is experienced in doing individual and business taxes. And I don't mean someone saying that, I do $200 or $500 200 or 500 returns per tax season. Dive in there and ask them, what type of returns? Do you deal with businesses? Do you deal with sole proprietorships? Do you know what my typical deductions would be? If someone called me and said, I'm a nail tech, what do you think my typical deductions would be? I'm going to run down a list about 25 things off of the top of my head. And that may not even be everything that you qualify for. You want someone who's confident in knowing that they can assist you. I think a lot of times people look to get people refunds. I don't care if you get a refund or not. I'm trying to make sure that your tax situation is the best that it can be based on what you have going on and what your future endeavors are. So another thing that you want to make sure is people know what the rest of your financial life may look like. Are you trying to buy a house? Are you about to go into bankruptcy? Are you selling a house? Are you getting a divorce? Are the kids gone now? You don't have any more deductions. You need to know all that kind of stuff because, I'm going to be able to advise you a lot better when I do know that information.
Because I'm now a property owner again. Cece is a property owner, but we are nail techs. We are beauty professionals. We have to move a little bit differently. I don't have kids. She has kids and she's married. I'm single, no kids. But we're both entrepreneurs. So it's just like you want to have people who know what they're talking about because there are things that can really, really be to your benefit or to your detriment if you don't have the right person.
Look, I'm working with a handful of people now that couldn't buy houses last year because they had not been reporting income. When you don't report income, no underwriter is going to approve you for a mortgage for $5, let alone $300,000 to $400,000.
Yep.
Okay. And the reporting of income comes with paying taxes. All right. But, you want to, taxes is something that we file every year, but it's something that you should be doing all year. It is an expense. It's an expense just like you guys have to buy nail supplies. Taxes are an expense for doing business. And
that's why we don't want to look at though. We
right.
That's not. It's just like taxes.
Yeah. Right.
That's why we shouldn't feel any type of way about increasing our prices or what we charge, because you have things that you have to pay out of that amount. You can say, "Oh, I made $300 today." Did you really make $300 today? You probably made more like $210 today, not $300 today. So that's why we cannot feel guilty and let friends and family make us feel some sort of way, because their stuff is covered by their company. Their company is deducting their stuff out for them. We have to take care of that on our own. So we have to think about that when we are doing business.
Yeah, you're the employer and you're the employee at the same time. So you got to wear both hats.
Yep. Wait, she said, say what now? Last year was my first year filing taxes for my business, but I filed with my personal taxes, single member LLC.
That's correct. So as a single member LLC, if you don't elect to be taxed differently, and I'll go into detail with that in 1 second, you're automatically considered still a sole proprietor. So even though, and this is a great point going back to what we started the conversation on about having an LLC, you can have an LLC and you're still going to be taxed just like someone who just has their own business without an LLC. Okay, especially single member LLCs, you're taxed just like a sole proprietor. Right. If you choose to, and this is based on a whole bunch of different things, not just the numbers, but what your future plans are for your business, you can elect to be taxed as an S corp or a C corp. And what that means is a different set of rules. For instance, my LLC, I am taxed as an S corp. So as an S corp, my business pays me as an employee. I issue myself a W-2. All right.
And it's actually information about that. A company that actually handles all of that and can set all that up for you in the 30-day nail technician challenge. That's the chapter week 4. It goes, and if all of this is overwhelming, there are actually companies that you can pay to kind of keep this thing going for you. It doesn't have to be that overwhelming. It's just,
But you want to be sure, because I see people making the election all the time and they're not following the rules. You got to put yourself on payroll. You got to be paying yourself a reasonable salary, or else the IRS is going to come knocking.
Right.
All right. And what that S corp designation also does is it minimizes self-employment tax. As a sole proprietorship, you not only have to pay federal and any state taxes on your return, you got to pay self-employment tax.
So yes, she's saying we should be filing our taxes quarterly. And so, filing taxes doesn't necessarily mean you'll get a return. I never get a return.
Yeah. So, and that's what I meant. And I wasn't trying to be rude about it, but I'm not necessarily trying to get you a refund.
We just don't want to owe the IRS.
I'm trying to basically get you to break even, or maybe if you owe $100, I've done my job.
Yeah, that ain't bad. Yeah.
The only reason you should be getting a refund is if you are qualified to receive refundable credits that you can only receive when you file your tax return. If you're getting a refund for any other reason, then you paid too much taxes in, so you're going to refund your own money that was already withheld for the year. And the reason that you owe is because you didn't pay enough throughout the year, i.e. paying quarterly taxes. So now you have a tax bill that you have to pay to make up the difference. So the goal of taxes, especially now in the early parts of when tax season starts, is everybody's looking for a refund. And it's great when you get one, but not all the time.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. I have a friend, she keeps asking me, I know you're glad it's tax season. I'm like, I pay the IRS. I don't have a reason to get excited about tax season because I pay the IRS every month, and they're not deducting any taxes. So when I come to DACARA, it's the thing of how much can I write off legally?
Right.
That's what I'm looking at.
Right.
I made this. I'm looking at how much I'm reporting and what can I write off to decrease my liability on the net income. You get it? So that's what I'm always looking at. How much do I owe? So everybody's situation is different, though. I don't have a lot of credits in my favor now. That may change, I'm sure, because now I own property, for 2021, 2022, but I think people just think of tax time as like refund time. And a lot of times, like you said, it's credits that people are qualified for, or you overpay and you're getting that money back. And to me, if you overpaid, something needs to be adjusted for the next year because something is not set up properly.
It should be. Look, some people like to get the refund. That's not my rule of thumb, but I'm not gonna knock anybody for doing it. A lot of people do like to get a big refund, and they do things that they need to do with it. You know, whether it's update a home, move, buy a car, you know, pay for the kids' school or whatever. So I'm not knocking it, but I want you to understand that the system is set up to divvy out refunds in one of two ways: refundable credits, or if you've overpaid in taxes. That's it. They're not trying to give you anything at all.
Right. Well, somebody asked about your information and I guess how to reach you further. So so this is Dakara here. Look at that. That was a fun day when we did that photo shoot.
That's cute.
Yes,
that was done in Atlanta, Georgia. Actually, the photographer that did that, took the pictures, is B. Simone's photographer.
Yeah, I remember you.
B. Simone's photographer did that photo shoot.
Do you have my email?
What is it? I'm going to put it up here.
It's Dakara.
I'm definitely going to be contacting you
at thetaxanista.com.
Oh, should have had this already, huh?
It's okay.
Oh my God. At the tax.
TAX, the TAXINISTA.
The Taxanista. I think that's it. Add banner. Right?
Am I supposed to see something?
You can't see it. Dakara at thetaxanista.com. She's also on Facebook at The Taxanista, correct?
Yes. The
Taxanista.
You want to give them my business phone number if somebody just wants to call?
Okay.
It's 470.
What's the area code?
470.
Oh.
738 8885.
So Dakara at thetaxanista.com, and this is her line here, 470-738-8885, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I just know how us creatives can be. We kind of zone out easily on stuff like this, but I think this was really helpful. It was a little bit different from what we did last year, just clearing up some things. Yeah. And this is great info. I feel like I definitely needed to reset. Well, Dakara is the only person I let touch my information. And so
look, and we had, and let me tell you this, because I'm going to tell them a little bit about this home buying journey with Tanisha. I was just as stressed out like I was buying it. So I have to go through this with my clients. Like, we knew everything was right. We had gotten her approved, and then she had issues with, the properties that were being bought. She finally got in, and the day she told me she was closing, it was like I almost started crying myself. Like, I was like, Lord.
Yes. Because
so you need to make sure you got somebody that knows what your goals are and trying to help you get them. Because, it can be a lot. It can be very stressful, going through life stuff. And you need someone that kind of has your back on that.
And I'm going to say this without saying too much about my personal business. This is why it's so important to, anytime I got over $30, I did report it. So even though I don't do things properly, she gets on me all the time. And I know there are a lot of things I need to do. The one thing I did do, which I'm glad I did it, for a long time, is I at least put all of my money into the bank. You have to show record of what you make. And then on top of that, with the IRS, even if you owe the IRS money, you can still buy property, because if you're in a payment plan, they just take the amount that you pay every month and it just becomes one of your bills. So if you're paying the IRS $150 a month, then they just calculate that in with the rest of your credit card debt. You get it? But you just have to show. They will actually go in and pull a transcript. You have to sign a form for them to go in and check with the IRS to say, hey, she owes this many taxes for this year, that year, but this is the payment plan she's on. And they just need that number to plug in there. And then your bank statements of everything that you've made, they will accept that as well and take an average of those to kind of get an idea of your real income to determine how much home you can afford. And so
yes,
it's not as hard. It's just, it takes, even if you're not doing it the exact way it should definitely be done, you got to start somewhere with getting some type of discipline in your life if you want to be an entrepreneur and still do this, and you still want
you got to look good on paper. That's how I say it all the time. You got to look good on paper. Now, I'm not saying that, you should be telling me about the money you got buried in the backyard. I just want to know the stuff that you got running through the bank and through your house. But you got to look good on paper. Even here with the real estate industry being so crazy, especially here in Atlanta, there are a lot of people who have gotten loans just based off them running their money through their business bank accounts. Because it shows they consistently have income flowing through there. And that's what a lender and an underwriter is looking for. They're trying to make sure you can sustain the income to pay for this mortgage. So that's why you have to look good on paper with it.
Yep. Because people fill out mortgage applications all the time and inflate. Even when people apply for credit cards, how much do you make? $168,000 a year, knowing they make like $30,000 a year. They put 160. They're gonna ask you at some point to back it up, okay?
Right.
You got to back it up some type of way. So it's very possible. It's very doable. But if you want to go work with the people who put the lawn sign up there talking about 2 children get you $6,000, don't do that. I'm just saying. So
yeah, you need somebody to give you. I try to give my clients a tax strategy all year long. If you're not good at record keeping, I'm going to give you some pointers and some tools to start using to start keeping good records. I'm going to check back up on you maybe every quarter to make sure, see if you got to pay quarterly taxes. That's the type of professional you want to have, someone who's advising you throughout the year. Because when December 31st hits, I'm very limited at what, I can do to help you. The other thing I want to throw out there, and this could be on our next thing that we do, we need to start saving our money. Retirement accounts are huge for business owners because we can double dip. We can be the employer and we can be the employee. So we can actually legitimately hide money.
Okay.
Look, that's too much for me today.
This could be another call.
That's too much for me today, but I know See, she keeps on it. This is her thing. This is what she does. She loves finding out what's happening, what's new, what's hot, what's not.
Right.
She's the person that's logging into those webinars and seeing what's new, what's coming.
Look, and I look at the crazy too. I search social media all the time. A lot of times I'm like, Lord, what are they putting out? So yeah, I have to kind of counteract the
I've been
crazy
looking
notion.
for you, Dakara, on one of those little TikToks, like, dun.
I told
you. Girl, we getting that together. We getting it together.
Yeah.
Lauren said this may be a dumb question. I have more than one bank account. I have 2, but I only use one. I have 7. I only use 1 or 2.
No question is a dumb question, Lauren. I'd rather somebody ask me 50 questions than none at all to make a bad decision. So if you have 2 bank accounts, what you want to make sure of, if you have an LLC or if you have a DBA that you're running your business under, you want to make sure you're using one for business and one for personal. So if you do have 2 and you're only using one, start trying to make one your business versus one your individual, so you can start keeping good records of your cash flow and expenses.
And if you want more personal, advice or guidance, you could just reach out to her because she knows. Yeah. And so I feel like I'm just holding people on here a long time, but I think we got a lot of good information in still. And I want to really, because I know Dakara is so busy, and Sunday is probably a day you get a little bit of relaxation in, right?
Well, not this Sunday.
Oh,
tomorrow's the last day of the month. But typically, typically Sundays are.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dakara. I'm not going to hold you.
I'll be calling you.
For having me. Yes, ma'am. Give me a call.
I will.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna bring you on out, and we will see. Well, we're gonna do our best. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'll let you go.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
That was good.
That was good. So I have some, since Cece actually came over here, I'm wondering if it's some things I've been wanting to talk about real quick. But I feel like I want to come out and come back in about an hour or so and do another live, because I want to talk about this social media, this TikTok, some things I learned, and I want to see. Just let me know if you want me to do it. Just tell me a yes, 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 or no, no, no. Or we could do it tomorrow, but I don't know. Cece is here. So while I got her here, honey, I don't know. I don't know. Do we want to do it? No? Yes?
Talk about the TikTok.
Yeah, I want to talk about TikTok. Matter of fact, we are going to talk about TikTok in about an hour. So I'm going to let this one go because that's a totally different subject. But I want to tell you my progress on TikTok, what I've learned in this past week or two. And actually, one of my videos right now, I believe, is starting to go a little viral. So I want to talk about that because I literally went to bed about 6 a.m., woke back up at noon today, and the video is exploding. Wow. So I want to talk about what I've learned and make sure that you are jumping on top of it too. So we'll come back really soon. Okay. So stay tuned. Put your alert buttons on, all of that. Share this video. Like. Subscribe, share. All of that helps the channel. And we'll see you really soon. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm glad. I am stressed.
Oh, it's over there. Hookah over there.
You already got hooked up?
No, I got like 3 of them.